Hey everyone, exciting news. We've officially launched the Paranoid Perspective Patreon. If you love what we do, unpacking conspiracies, chasing mysteries, and laughing through the weirdness, now you can support the show and get more of it.
So, for as little as $5 a month, you will get exclusive access and extra perks to the episode. Sarah, what do we get with tier one?
So, tier one is the Curious Minds, and you get a shout out at the end of every episode.
Next tier, this is what you guys really probably want, ad-free episodes. We don't need those pesky ads that you guys are getting on Spotify, Apple, whatever else. You will get all episodes ad-free along with what else, Sarah?
You'll also get it ahead of time. So before the episode releases for that week, it'll be available for you to watch or listen.
So if you guys are interested, check in the show notes down below, or you can head to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Welcome back to the Paranoid Perspective. I'm Jake.
I'm Sarah.
Today we're going to talk about a very famous UFO case. You guys might have seen the movie Fire in the Sky. Sarah, have you ever seen that movie? No. Exactly. Nope. Everyone I've asked that has never seen that movie.
When did it come out?
We'll get into it, but it is. But that's the thing. It's like that's the first thing, and there was a book too. But I mean that this day and age too, not a whole lot of people are reading books. But that's like the first thing I've asked everybody. I was at work and I was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this thing called this movie called Fire in the Sky?" And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Okay, well."
Yeah, there's a documentary. I watched that. That's called Fire in the Sky, I think, as well.
Yeah. Now, I think the documentaries on this are a lot more fun for people. The movie is kind of Hollywood-esque, and Travis Walton himself didn't really like it. But spoiler right there. Listeners, today we are talking about Travis Walton, and it's a pretty famous UFO abduction case. Allegedly, supposedly, whatever adjective you want to use to describe what this case is about. But Sarah, I want you to think back. Have you ever lost like 5 days of your life? No, me either. Me either. I've had like an ADHD trip where I've lost maybe 15, 20 minutes and just didn't realize what I was doing. But 5 days is a long time. And on top of that, if you lost 5 days of your life and you came back with a story that nobody could agree on, it'd be pretty freaking wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a little bit of, we'll get into everything. But imagine after not knowing where you've been, you wake up on a highway with no memory of what happens. Your body is marked with strange bruises. There are 6 of your coworkers that insist you got hit with a beam of light.
That would be crazy. I would think, I don't know what I would think.
I would think somebody drugged me and I am in some serious trouble.
Someone took my kidney or something.
Right. Well, no, that's got to be a bag of ice. You wouldn't just wake up on the side of the highway, or a bag of ice, a tub of ice, whatever.
Right.
But this happened on November 5th, 1975, in the Apache National Forest in northwest Arizona. Travis Walton at the time was a 22-year-old logger that vanished for 5 days. His disappearance turned into one of the most famous alleged alien abduction accounts in modern history. It pretty much pushed from like small town Arizona all the way out to like major news reporting, everything from major networks to all the way down to like tabloids. This inspired, like we talked about, best-selling books, Hollywood films, Fire in the Sky. If you guys want to check it out, it's okay. I've seen the movie. It's kind of, but that's just my opinion. The thing is, this still like divides investigators, not like just UFO guys, not just skeptics, like everybody. This kind of, there's parts of the story that everybody kind of don't agree on, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know he was 22.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always thought he was older.
Well, I think it's because all the interviews you've seen with him is,
Yeah.
and is probably he's still alive. And I mean, he's probably in his 60s, almost 70s. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. This story became an absolute cultural shorthand for like, this is what the typical abduction is like this, like they would just refer to it as like Fire in the Sky or Travis Walton, or that was like what the quintessential, this is what happens when aliens abduct you, so, out of nowhere. So
okay.
I don't know, but let's get into Travis Walton, kind of up to, just to give you a little bit of backstory on the guy. So he was born in early 1950s in Arizona, and he grew up in the area surrounding Snowflake and Huber, I believe is how you pronounce it. They are classified as small towns with big skies.
Small town with big sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a working class guy. When he started to kind of come up through school, he became a logger and a forest worker. He used the long hours outside driving extended routes and sleeping in pickup trucks. So he was all about doing the work.
Right.
He was close to the crew that he worked with, including a gentleman named Mike Rogers, who was the crew chief, who later would be deeply immersed in the controversy. Walton's life before the incident read like a typical rural American. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. He had friends that drank together, bosses who pushed for harder deadlines, contracts with the U.S. Forest Service. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
Now, the crew he was a part of had contracts to clear brush and undergrowth and stuff like that, but those jobs had really, really tight timelines and super huge penalties for delays. So all these tensions over deadlines and money turned out to be like kind of a recurring thread in the background of this story. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
So let's talk about the night of November 5th, 1975. So it's November in northeastern Arizona. For people that don't know, it's fucking cold. It's going to get fucking cold in the desert. Everybody thinks that, but it gets fucking cold. And it's going to be very dark. There's little light pollution. It's kind of eerie when you're out in a place like that where you have zero light pollution, because you don't understand how dark it really is.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of pine trees, a bunch of scrubs, long dirt road. Like, that's all that's out there, like middle of nowhere. That night, a crew of 7 men, including Travis Walton and his crew chief, Mike Rogers, finished up one of those days of just toiling, working. All the men piled into Rogers' pickup truck and were headed back to town around dusk. According to the crew account, sometime after they started driving, which is a great time frame.
At some point, we're driving and then...
Yeah. A bright light appeared beyond a hill. Now, this would be very odd because, like I said, there's zero light pollution out there. They're obviously working out in that area. You would know if there was, a city light or something off in the distance. You would know what that is. But the way they describe it is it was something that wasn't natural. They hadn't seen it before. So the truck approached a clearing where they saw this light, and the men saw a large luminous object hovering low to the ground.
In the clearing?
Mm-hmm.
And then they get out
to
investigate.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. This is the only thing. Like, the descriptions of this kind of vary in detail from witness to witness, which is typical with what you're, it's never going to be the same story. Like, you could have the same experience, like, right next to another person, and you're both are going to tell a slightly different story. You know what I mean? But most witnesses reported it was a metallic or glowing disc, low enough to where it was throwing a beam of light into the clearing. This is where Mr. Travis Walton, it was said he was quoted, curious and impulsive, got out of the truck and walked towards the object. Get fucked. Are you kidding me right now?
I would not be doing that.
No.
I'd be like, let's get out of here.
Absolutely not. I don't want to be anywhere near this thing. Are you kidding me?
What is this? Let me get out.
There's no way. I don't know. But as he reportedly came under the beam, like he walked underneath of where this fucking beam was at. The crew says they saw a flash or a bolt. That's where it gets kind of weird of light and heard a strange sound. And then Travis was gone.
They killed him. I'd be thinking that he died. Oh my God.
Now, there are other stories about this where they've said that they saw him get struck and fell. And then they drove away. Freaking out.
Oh, so maybe they didn't see actually that he disappeared or something?
Well, most of the stories that I've seen have kind of had either one of these, and those are the two accounts of what happened. So I don't know, but you got to think about like, and that's like people have talked about like, oh, how could you leave your friend? Like, dude, you have to, like, if you're in the dark, it's cold.
Yeah.
Your fucking adrenaline is probably through the roof. You know what I mean? I would be scared shitless. And the immediate decision when making like a getaway, when something inexplicable happens, like you're either going to fight or flight. Like those are the two options, or freeze, whatever. You know what I mean? So they decided to flee. Needless to say, the men later told police they were terrified when they were driving away, returning a few minutes later to find the clearing empty and Travis gone. That's where it kind of gets like a little back and forth, because some say he disappeared and others say he was struck by this beam of light and collapsed and they drove off. But regardless, they went back to the clearing a couple minutes later once they kind of chilled the fuck out and were realizing they just left their friend behind.
Right.
Went back.
And then he's gone.
And now he's gone.
Right. And the object. But for those first few minutes after the disappearance, it kind of set the pattern for the drama that followed, I guess would be the best way to say it. There was a lot of like fear, frantic searching. You know, they were calling the sheriff's office, and then immediately, you got to think, if you're calling a sheriff's office at whatever time, you know, it's probably not super late, but it's late enough, and you're telling them some crazy story, they're gonna be suspicious of like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You know what I mean? It's a prank call. Yeah.
Right. So that's the only bad thing about like most of this story is that there's a lot of unanswered questions, and there kind of was answers, but I don't know. You got to think about it from all perspectives. And if I was a cop and I heard somebody saying like, oh, a beam of light out of a UFO just hit my friend, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you guys doing out in the woods, man?
Yeah. What are you smoking out there?
You're right. But it was kind of funny because I was trying to do a little bit more research. And apparently, let's see where we're at. At 7:45, a member of the logging crew called Officer L.C. Ellison. Ellison was a sheriff, Ellison and a sheriff, Martin Gillespie, and Deputy Kenneth Copeland. They were to drive out to Huber and meet the loggers. When they got, where was I at? See, this is the great part of podcasting, and when I have notes and I get lost. This seems to be a reoccurring theme on the podcast, listeners. So anyway, let's see. The three officers and the other crew members refused to return to that field for some fucking reason. And the five men were starting to search, but they couldn't find anything from that short little search that they did. And then around 1:30 a.m., Navajo County Deputy Sheriff Kenneth Copeland once again, and Rogers, I can't remember who was that. Sorry, I got lost again. One of the other,
I think, or no, the logger.
Yeah. That was what it was. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. This is how much research I do, listeners. I can't even bother to be remembering names. They actually visited Walton's mother at about 1:30.
Oh wow! To say he's missing.
Yeah. Now, according to Copeland, when he informed of the disappearance to Walton's mother, she said, quote, "Well, that's the way these things happen."
What is that supposed to mean? Well, that's
Copeland
the way.
said he was visibly shocked by how calm she took the news and was surprised about her general lack of surprise, which completely valid.
That's
Now,
weird, yeah.
here's where this will start to make a little bit of sense. Walton's older brother, Dwayne, was also there and started to kind of talk. And the sheriff ultimately described his brother and his mother as longtime students of UFOs.
Oh, so they are firm believers.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So that's why like there was like a little bit of like not indifference, but just like, oh, well, that's what happens. You know, like, because
Right.
they were wholeheartedly believing if he got abducted by aliens, that's just what they do, right?
Right.
They just
They
hit
just
you with,
do that, yeah.
yeah, just hit you with light and take you away.
Right.
But Travis's mother lived in a ranch house and it did not have telephone service. So they did drive her into town so they could call and make other arrangements. Walton's mother called her daughter and waking her once again was shocked how well everyone, when they called, took the news of Travis's disappearance. Like
even if I believed in like UFOs and stuff, I'd still be freaking out if like you got kidnapped by an alien. Like,
right. But it's like everything I've seen about this is everybody that was related to him in some way, shape, or form that called or talked, everybody was just like, oh yeah, oh well, that's just what happens.
Just another Tuesday.
It's just another Tuesday.
What?
No big deal, man. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
They arranged it. It was planned.
Maybe. Now, here's where it does start to get a little interesting. So, a lot of the crew was actually polygraphed to figure out, because the cops at this point this is like a day or two after the event happened. They're convinced that these dudes fucking killed him. Like, they're not buying this UFO story. They're not doing anything like that. They're just like, dude. And in the 70s, polygraph examinations were a really common technique by law enforcement. And I'm sure it still is, but I mean, I think it was a lot more relevant back then. Here's the thing. All of them came back as honest results that they had not murdered him.
Okay.
So I know you can trick a polygraph, but at the same time, I think it's kind of hard to do that at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right. And for all of them to do it.
Yeah. So that happened on the 6th of November. The following day, a search party of nearly 50 people scoured the area, but failed to find Travis or any sign of any altercation, any sign of him. Like, they couldn't find anything. Law enforcement was once again surprised a few hours later. Travis's mother told them, "I don't think there is going to be any use of looking further. He's not around here. I don't think he's on Earth."
Right. Yeah. He's on Mars or something. Like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, why are you still looking?
Yeah, right.
He's gone.
What are we doing? He's with the aliens now. Like,
yeah. It's up to them to return him or not. Oh my God.
Well, the following morning on November 8th, Rogers and Dwayne complained in person about the discontinued search. So obviously there's some animosity between the mother and the brother here.
Yeah.
You know, the mother's just like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. And they're like, no, my fucking brother's still somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, he might have been matter of fact about it, but at least you can tell, like, at least from what I found, like, his brother still was trying to fucking find him. So, but as a result, Sheriff Glipsy assembled another search party, which included a helicopter. This is when like regional papers started covering the story on the 8th of November. And that day was remembered, and that day, a member of the UFO Phoenix-based interest group recorded a 56-minute interview with crew chief Mike Rogers and Travis's older brother, Dwayne. So that is available. You can YouTube it. I can find the link for it, and we can put it down in the show notes. I don't think it's really worth listening to the whole thing. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't really listen to the whole thing. I listened to probably about half of it. But I mean, it's interesting, but I don't know. But this is where it's like why I didn't like listen to it a whole lot, because at no point during the interview did they express any fear or concern about Travis, which is really weird because you got his friend and his fucking brother. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they like expressed interest that he would come back.
How did they know that?
How they know that? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How would you know that he's gonna come back? I don't know.
It'll be fine. He'll be back. Another 2 days, give it.
But here's
weird.
the thing. During the interview, Rogers discussed the forestry contract as well. So he said, quote, "This contract we have is seriously behind schedule. In fact, Monday time is up, and we haven't done any work on it since Wednesday because of this whole thing, and therefore it won't get done. I hope they take that into account."
Trying to ask for like a extension.
Yep. The forestry contracts did include an act of God clause that excused contractors who were delinquent due to unforeseeable circumstances.
I would say this counts.
Sarah, I would think UFO would be considered.
Unless they think, unless they think he ran away or something.
Oh, maybe. But also during the interview, Dwayne revealed that Travis and their mother were UFO buffs who had previously discussed that if they ever saw a UFO, they would, quote unquote, immediately get directly under the object because the opportunity to go aboard would be too great to pass up.
Well, that's what he did.
That's exactly what he fucking did.
Yeah.
He was like, fucking beam me up, man. Let's fucking do it.
It's my turn.
It's my fucking turn, man.
Yeah.
Dwayne reportedly insisted too, once again, that he was not missing. He knows where he's at, and I know where he's at, and he knows where I'm at.
So he knows where the ship is.
Apparently. Needs to fucking let everybody else know, you know?
Right.
But
yeah.
November 9th, law enforcement continued the search for Travis until late afternoon when Walton's mother once again requested the search be halted. I don't know why this bitch is trying to
really weird.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know? Now, by the 10th of November, the story of Walton's disappearance had been published throughout the U.S., the UK, and Canada. Like, this is starting to spread throughout the world. Like, it was just a regional thing, and now it's all over the place. On November 11th, the press reported that Travis's mother felt any further searching for Travis would be useless.
I mean, she's been saying that the whole time.
That's really odd. Like, once again, for a mother to say that about one of their missing children. Like, that's not... I don't know. But also on November 11th, Rogers and 5 other members of the forestry crew were interrogated by the Arizona Department of Public Safety. Once again, going through a polygraph and determined if the men had murdered Travis Walton once again. All denied having Travis harmed. Nobody, it was kind of said that 5 out of the 6 men were being truthful this time, and one described as a 6th as inconclusive. So,
no.
But on November 11th, once again, the press reported that Walton had been found. Walton had placed a collect call to his sister from a payphone in Huber, Arizona.
Wow. 1111.
I know. Just out of nowhere.
Right. What time
but
was it?
I
11?
I have it somewhere. I don't know. If it's 11,
Okay.
I'll let you know. I don't know for sure though. Now, Walton did not actually talk to his sister. He talked to her husband, Grant Neff. He drove immediately to pick up Dwayne and proceeded to Huber to pick up Travis. Neff later reported that he initially thought the caller was intoxicated. As part of the call procedures, Travis told the operator his name. She recognized his name, obviously, because it'd been fucking national fucking news, and that he was missing, and alerted Sheriff Gillespie, who dispatched a deputy to the family ranch house. Deputy Glenn Flake arrived at 2 a.m., where he witnessed Dwayne Walton transferring fuel from one car to another after having gotten to purchase gas before the local gas station closed. Flake did not Flake did not reveal that they knew Travis had returned home. So at this point, I don't think anybody had said anything about Travis being home or being found. Now, Travis did seek medical attention. Now, here's where it gets really weird. And I don't think it's weird, but I think it's just because they're like true believers. So Dwayne reached out to a UFO researcher he had met days prior.
Okay. Of course.
The researcher referred them to Dr. Lester Stewart. He is a hypnotist.
Okay. I thought he was going to go to a real doctor.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Yeah, they said he was seeking medical attention, and we take him to a hypnotist. So
right.
Yep.
You're not actually injured.
No. It's all in your mind.
Right. Yeah. You know? Watch the clock. You're not.
Yeah. So Dwayne took Travis to meet that hypnotist. But his first words were that Travis needed to have a medical examination. Good on him. I'm happy with that.
That's
lab tests. He was not with like a full, making sure everything was fine, because he is not ready for any sort of hypnotic fucking regression or anything like that. He did note that Travis looked very confused, reminiscent of like a drug addict sort of like vibe that he was giving off. Stewart also noted that Travis had a small lesion on the inside crease of his right elbow, consistent with drug use.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But after meeting with that hypnotist, the Waltons returned to Dwayne's home, where the UFO researcher arranged a house call by two medical doctors who were also amateur UFO investigators. I don't think these are real doctors.
Yeah, that's like all they... That's the only people they know. It's like, do you believe in UFOs?
So they arrived at 3 p.m. Dwayne did forbid them to use a camera and or tape recorder. He would ask, so at least they weren't taking complete advantage of this fucking situation. Right. Nor would he allow them to ask Travis any questions about the experience. Like, they're there to provide medical service. They're not there for anything else. So apparently Dwayne pulled his fucking head out of his ass for at some point. I don't know for sure. But the doctors did notice the presence of an apparent puncture mark, estimated to be 24 to 48 hours old. I'm assuming that's in the crook of your elbow where you would shoot up. But that day, stories of Travis's return had began to spread. The press began calling Dwayne's home in an attempt to reach Travis. Dwayne finally informed law enforcement of Travis's return, calling Sheriff Gillespie, who insisted on seeing Travis immediately, obviously.
Right.
Because he's only been looking for him for the past 5 fucking days.
Right. That's crazy.
The sheriff actually drove 4 hours and arrived at 11 p.m. Dwayne and Travis demanded that the sheriff did not record or report the interview. I don't think that's how that works, but that's what they tried to do.
He kind of has to make a report at least.
Yeah. But here's like the immediate aftermath of this whole fucking shit show. Okay. So the crew called the sheriff, like I said, and there was a lot of fucking gossip that was happening. Nobody really knew what the fuck had happened. They're talking everything from these guys murdered him to he's fucking doing drugs to the aliens beamed him up and fucking did whatever. I don't fucking know. But there's no like, there are so many like, I think that's part of the problem with the story is there's not like any concrete, like how he got back. So you have everybody just making up their own thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I will say, if you guys haven't listened to any of these, Travis does have a very apparently vivid memory of everything that happened to him after he had this hypnotic regression later on. Now,
oh, wow.
I don't know how much of this is true. But when he reappeared at some point, after all of his medical examinations and stuff like that, he did give reporters and investigators a detailed account. He said the beam rendered him unconscious. He then woke up on board a craft in a room with bright lights and metallic surfaces. He described a small, bald, grayish being who examined him. He remembered struggling with them, quote unquote, and then being escorted to what he called a human-like figure wearing a helmet. So almost like if they were trying to calm him down, like, oh, this is something you know. You know, like, don't fucking look.
Fine.
Yeah, don't look at us and our crazy fucking bodies. Just look at something you know.
Right. Yeah, he sanctioned it. He's allowing this.
Yeah. But the weird thing about it was it was some kind of like transparent mask put over his face. Like he is pretty adamant about that. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like he was talking face to face with this thing. Like it had some sort of suit on when he was talking to him. His telling, the creature performed non-consensual examinations and experiments. Walton would later expand this account in his book, The Walton Experience, and interviews over the decades. He consistently describes vivid sensory details, smells, a humming sound, like a clinical style room, like doctor's sort of thing, and an emotional texture of fear and pain. Now, that's also not true because I've also seen interviews with him where he says they were trying to help him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So once again, even in these stories and like different interviews you read, like I try to be as thorough as possible, but there's so much inconsistency with this story that it's hard to find out what's actually true. And I've seen interviews with him where he says he's not scared more times than not. So I kind of want to go with that just because that's what he has consistently said more than anything else. It's kind of funny because he talks about it as if like they unintentionally injured him with that beam of light or that discharge, and they brought him on board to help him.
Right, and to like fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the most consistent that I've seen with that. But the whole like UFO thing, I think that's where like the researchers especially, they talk about like, oh, he was non-consensually prodded and poked and it's like, I think that's everybody else that's saying that. I don't think that's ever him saying that.
Okay.
It's that part is kind of interesting because I saw some inconsistencies because I saw like, oh yeah, this definitely happened to him. Then I see him on an interview. He's like, no, I wasn't like freaking out. I just like, I knew my body wasn't like, I knew I was hurt and they helped me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he has also consistently said that he doesn't feel like he was there that long. Like his sense of time was completely gone.
Yeah, he didn't think he was gone for 5 days.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like he was so confused because it just like it happened and then it was over, and then he was like trying to get a hold of somebody. So like they just like popped him off in the middle of nowhere and was like, "Oh, here's a phone with 50 cents in your fucking pocket. You know, just call somebody and you'll be fine, man. Just
at least it was close enough. Not like another state or something."
Right?
They're like, "Oh, this is desert. Here Germany. You go." Yeah. Yeah. They just see the landscape similar and they're like, this is enough desert. Yeah. You're like in Africa or something.
Right. In the middle of the fucking Sahara with no fucking civilization anywhere around.
Yeah.
Well, now I will say the quote unquote evidence for a lot of this is off of a lot of private examiners, tabloids, and UFO groups.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The National Enquirer, they publicized a polygraph they ran. I'm telling you, the polygraphs are all over the place with this fucking thing.
That's weird.
Dude, it's the most consistent thing about this whole fucking story is the fucking polygraphs. So,
right. But polygraphs are so easy to like fake now.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean, not back then. I don't know. They're not reliable.
Exactly. I mean, there are ways that you can cheat this thing. They're the polygraph for sure. But here's the deal. Like, okay, the National Enquirer, they had results that favored the story of Walton and his crew. They were omitting other polygraph tests that were less favorable too, though. So, you know what I mean? Like, so what you're telling me is you took what you liked and you got rid of everything else. You know what I mean?
Yep. They got to get the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I will say independent examiners arranged later questions, and one examiner said Walton displayed gross deception during a particular test with the polygraph. So like he was trying to fake it.
Right.
Or to, get around it, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Believers read that the past test as they were vindicated. This means that it was. And then the skeptics obviously were just poking holes in it left and right because it's like, no, you're taking selective reporting and it's super inconsistent. Right. Like there's, I don't know. And here's the other thing. There were media incentives. So the National Enquirer gave the crew a $5,000 prize for the best UFO case of the year.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
The other tabloids...
then they're going to make it up.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to say it didn't happen.
Right.
But what I am saying is what actually happened and then sensationalizing a story that like was kind of mundane into something it wasn't, and now people are getting paid for it.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna keep sensationalizing it. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not gonna like people like to say, "Oh no, I would tell the truth and do that." It's like, yeah, until somebody writes you a fucking check with a bunch of zeros on the back end of it, and they're like, "Hey, keep doing this and you'll be all right." It's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get a fucking paycheck. So
yeah, everyone has an amount that they will do that for.
Oh, 100%. Now, I will say the one thing that is super consistent is 6 crew members consistently told very, very, very similar stories about the object and Walton's disappearance.
Okay.
It's hard to convince a group of people to say the same thing if it didn't actually happen. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know you can do techniques and tricks on people, but I mean, you would think if it was bullshit and like, you think like if $5,000 are involved, but between 6 people, that's not a whole lot of money.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're probably going to be like, hey, this is fucking bullshit. I'm not doing this anymore. This is a lot of media attention for what? You know what I mean?
Right.
They're
probably bloggers. They don't want all of this attention.
That's what I would think. Now, I don't know. Now, here's the thing, though. and we kind of talked about this in the beginning, human memory is very social and subjectable. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a reliable thing. Like we said, like you could have two people witness the same fucking thing and they're going to tell slightly different stories.
Mhm.
So people who like, like if you were to put people in a room and they were to like collaborate or rehearse, they could arrive at a consistent narrative, even if the underlying event was misinterpreted. Like you could definitely do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be anything crazy. Now, the official police stance, local authorities investigated it thoroughly, and for a time, the men were treated as suspects, like we kind of talked about. But Walton's reappearance and lack of any evidence of any foul play, the charges were never brought against the crew, obviously.
Right.
Um, and that left the public with like a super uneasy, like, okay, so we didn't find any criminal thing. We didn't find any physical proof of any abduction. And there's no like, I don't know, besides just these stories and like a sensationalized narrative from the press, like this is super, super weird. And we don't know what to do with it. So,
Yeah. It's not really tidied up at all. Like,
no. Now, of course, this is like a home run swing for UFOlogy or whatever the researchers, you know what I mean? Because you have a really good story with a bunch of people that all agree on it, you know, from eyewitness accounts, you know. So this is a really good story. And most of the proponents, the main thing they talk to is the consistent story over the years from Travis Walton.
oh, okay, yeah. Because he hasn't really changed his story at
Exactly.
all.
Now,
Yeah.
and I will say he definitely has made money off of this, but it's not like a substantial amount of money. You know, like it's not enough to like be like buying yachts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, even like live interviews, even later interviews, he was on Joe Rogan a while ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't really care about making any money. I just people ask me what happened, and I tell them what happened." Like he was so matter of fact about it. Like you know what I mean? Like it was almost
Right.
like he was even hesitant to like, well, unless you ask, I'm not going to say anything about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But if people ask, then he's going to tell his story, I guess.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Hmm.
there are some hoaxes. There are some possible motives as to why, you know, people would want to do this. So we're kind of getting into like, I guess it's kind of like a layered argument based on like motive, timing, inconsistencies, later admissions, stuff like that. So we kind of got into it just a little bit. Is the financial and constitution or contractual motive? The logging crew was definitely behind schedule, and they were on a government contract. Missing the deadline could definitely trigger penalties. They could lose their job. Hell, they could probably never get another government contract again. You know what I mean?
Right. So they were already behind before this happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, a lot of people that are skeptical of this, you know, they suggest that the timing of Walton's disappearance immediately after the crew was pressured to like work late and get shit done is
Right.
kind of fucking suspicious. You know, essentially the hoax is that they, you know, staged an abduction story that would certainly generate publicity, that could be monetized. And that's what they were doing to not only save their logging contract, but also to make some extra money on the side.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if it's not guaranteed you're going to make money from that.
That's
though.
true. That's true.
But it definitely would push back the date, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Cause like, you know, you have that like act of God clause in those contracts, right? So if you have something crazy happen that's out of your control, well, maybe we could get an extra 6 months on this, you know what I mean? Or something. I'm kind of leaning, if it was all a hoax, I'm kind of leaning more towards that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Well, you got to think, like Travis and his whole family were obviously like huge UFO believers. So you think for a second while they were sitting eating lunch that he wasn't talking about UFOs?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
probably talking all the time about it.
yeah. And it'd be too easy for him to, for one of these guys to come up with an idea and then shoot it to him. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We're not going to make this contract anyway. We could, what's 5 days? If we're already going to miss it, we'll get another 6 months and we'll be good to go,
Right.
So I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
I feel like it was probably, if that's what it was probably something that was like joked about and then it just got out of hand way too quickly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's where it's like a half joke and you're just feeling it out and then people latch on it and it's like, oh, okay, this is a great idea. Let's do it.
Sarah, it's Birds Not Real all over again. That's what this is. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing that I will say about like possibly the monetary gain is there obviously was a cultural impact. There was a book written, there was a film made, and there is a shit ton of fandom from the UFO culture about Travis Walton. If you think for a second that man hasn't gone to speak at these conventions or events and gotten paid for said speaking, you know what I mean?
But is he sharing it with the crew forever, or is he just taking it then?
I mean, he was the one that was abducted. Why the fuck would he share it with anybody else? Prove I wasn't.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if that was really the case and it was about the money, people are going to get greedy real quick and they're going to start calling people out on their bullshit. So,
yeah, 6 people being in on it, like, and not coming to light by now. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm not really buying it. I'm really convinced on like the I guess quote unquote normal theories of why it was is definitely the logging contract for sure. Like that's really what I think. If that's what it was, then I don't know. But we do have some conspiracies and some fringe spins. Like, they're kind of out there, and I don't know. This could have been a possible military cover-up. Some believe it was a secret military craft that the government was testing and then concealed the truth. Allegedly, the Air Force has, historical involvement with a lot of classified flights. There's no verified, like, official evidence of any of this, but, people like to say, oh, it's out in the desert. Air Force bases are out there. They're testing fucking crazy shit that is defying gravity and all this. And they probably just saw Travis in the field and were like, let's fuck that guy up real quick.
Right. I mean, would they not just kill him though? If that was like, I feel like.
Well, see, that's my big thing.
Yeah. Plus the other ones saw it too. Everyone else saw it.
If you stumble onto a military installation that's not top secret, you will be detained. Like that, that's what will happen. If you stumble onto a military installation where they're testing top secret, like weapon systems, you're probably going to be a little more than detained.
Yeah. And they weren't even talked to. Like,
yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Okay. Well,
next one.
How about like a MK Ultra like experiment?
Okay.
So some theorists tie like the claims that were speculative connecting like a lot of these conspiracies together, where it's like a mass test of like hallucinogenic or mind altering medication on those small towns of Snowflake and Huber. Okay. So not just like the Travis Walton thing was just the catalyst to get it going. And they started testing what would happen if we have this mass hysteria along with all these like mind altering drugs that we can slip these people in the water or whatever. It explains why nobody can agree on anything, Sarah.
Yeah, that could explain that.
I don't think so, but that's
Yeah.
it's a theory.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Go back to the drawing board on that one. Whoever came up with that
Yeah. I was cracking up. I found that last one today and I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. Now, here's where we kind of get off on the fringes a little bit and a little bit back to more reality. Some theories suggest that Walton and the crew staged the abduction to hide something else. Whether it was drug dealing, whether it was logging theft, whether it was sidestepping contracts, whether like something to like throw them off of what they were actually doing.
Right.
Now, these are very speculative. There's no evidence for this whatsoever. It's one of those where like they're taking that like one aspect of like they saw like a lesion on the inside of his arm and are like, yep, he's fucking smuggling drugs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They jump all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So now part of that though, there does keep going back to like the contract thing. I really think that's probably what it was. Like you said, I think it was a joke.
Right. Yeah.
That just got way out of hand way too fucking quickly. And next thing you know, we have to hide Travis for 5 days because we got to make this believable. But oh shit, now they think we killed him. Fucking get Travis out from his hole in the desert wherever he's at. You know, drop him off
back now.
Yeah, drop him off small town, whatever. And that explains why his family was so matter of fact about like, oh, you know, it's just what happened.
I was gonna say that too, yeah, because he probably told his mom or something because he's 22 and 100%. His mom's like, he'll be back.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. He was sitting at dinner with his mom and he's like, hey, we got a great idea to save our contract and I'm going to keep working for another 6 months. This is what we're going to do. We're going to say I was abducted by aliens. Or if they're all true believers, he could have just said, I've been seeing weird stuff out there, just setting the stage for what they were going to do.
Yeah, he could have been priming them for months.
That's what I'm saying.
So then they weren't worried about it. Because I would not tell like anyone if I had a plan like that.
Oh, fuck
but
no.
he could definitely prime his mom and stuff to not be as worried.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because I don't care who you are. Like you said, if I have a family member that's missing, at no point am I ever going to be like, oh, that's just what happens.
We shouldn't even look.
No, just stop.
At all.
Just stop looking, actually. We don't need to worry about it.
Just accept it. It's fine. She's very zen.
Yeah, very. It just is. She is the epitome of it is what it is. So
she was just on like Xanax or something.
Or she's the one supplying him all his drugs. And it's just, she's just numb all the time, you know?
Right.
So, I don't know. That's Travis Walton.
Okay. Yeah, that is interesting. I hadn't known some of that stuff, but I think he was abducted.
You know, I took this from a very skeptical standpoint for this episode, but I truly do think he was abducted.
Yeah.
Based
at least
off
that's what he thinks happened.
I wholeheartedly believe he believes he was abducted.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
For sure. You know, all the interviews that I've seen with him, he is very matter of fact. He talks very plainly and, you know, doesn't add any fluff to anything. Mm-hmm. Just calls it how it is.
Right.
So whatever.
This is what happened. So.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about the story is the story of what his friends did. They saw him get hit with a beam of light and fucking drop and they ran. That is a fucking genuine human response.
Yeah.
That's, you know, there's no way that you can escape that fight, flight, or freeze in extreme situations. And at that point, they all chose to fucking fly away. So,
Yeah, and if it was a story, wouldn't they say like, "Oh, we tried to do something," or I don't know.
Well, yeah, somebody's going to try to be important. Travis can't be the
Right.
only one that's important. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got to try something to be important. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Listeners, the fuck do you think? Travis Walton and his crew full of shit trying to sidestep some fucking contracts, or was he picked up by aliens after they got blasted by some radiation? Let us know.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I don't get, because if he got hit with some bullshit, you would think he'd have fucking like burns, scars. You know, he had bruises on him, but like, I don't know.
They fixed him up. That's why they needed 5 days.
That's what that's like I said earlier, that's what he said. They were there to fix him. So
they took all the radiation out of him.
Just plucked it on out.
Yeah. just like sucked it all out.
Yeah, they got their radiation sucker on board ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you have to.
Yeah, it's a key part of your kit when you're traveling intergalactically. So
yeah.
But I don't know. Listeners, let us know wherever you're interacting with this, what the hell you think happened with Travis Walton. You both know, or you know what we both think. He was definitely abducted, scientifically proven on this podcast, first ever.
Yep. Solved.
Solved.
Put a stamp. It's been solved.
But if you guys like this kind of content, please like, comment, share this podcast with a friend. Check out our Patreon, the Paranoid Perspective Podcast /patreon.com. Or no, other way around. Man, I was dyslexic in real fucking time, and I wasn't even reading. Holy shit. That's how bad it is.
You're reading your mind.
I was, man. So, patreon.com /the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Go over there. We got some cool perks over there. Easiest and free way, though, like I said, share this podcast with a friend. Helps out more than you will know. And as always,
remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. See you next time on The Paranoid Perspective.